For number 5, what you want to do is you want to see which table of values matches which equation. So let's first focus on this first one right here. So we want to find which equation goes with that table of values. So if we look here, this says y is equal to x. But when we look at the x and the y values, are they equal to each other? No, they're not. So we know that this one is not going to work for part A. So now let's take a look at part equation 2. So if equation 2, let's use our 1 is our x value and our 4 is a y value, just like it says in the chart. And let's see if it's true when we plug it into this equation here for 2. So y is 4 equals 3, x is 1 minus 1. So 4 equals 3 minus 1. That would give us 4 equals 2, and that is not true. So that equation is not going to work for the first graph. So then let's try another one. I'm going to go ahead and erase these. Let's try number 3 for this graph. For 3, it says y is equal to x plus 3. So let's plug in an x and a y value from that first table. And so y is 4 equals x, which is 1, plus 3. And so if we do these, 4 equals 4. Yeah, that's going to work. What I typically like to do is just test another point to make sure that this equation works for all of these values and not just a set. So let's try the 2 and the 5 in that equation. So let's erase that. And so now we'll try this as the x and the y value. So y is 5 equals x is 2 plus 3, so there we have it, 5 equals 5. So since equation 3 makes these, works and gives you the y value for that certain x value, that means that 3 is going to go with this one. So I'm going to say A is equation 3. I'm going to get rid of this now, and I'm going to cross off 3 because now I already know that 3 is with A. So then what I'm going to do is go now down to B. And then I'm going to try the other equations. Well, is your x value and your y value always the same? For the first one, they're the same, but not for the following. So that's how I know 1 is not going to work. So then I would try equation 2 with that one. And so in equation 2, let's try an x and a y value. I like to use positive numbers because they're easier to calculate. So if we tried plugging that into equation 2, we would get 0 equals 3, x is also 0 minus 1, and then that would calculate to 0 equals a negative 1. Well, that's not true, so I know 2 is not going to work for that one. So then now what I'm going to do is try the 4. Now for the fourth one, for equation 4, that would be y equals 0 x squared. So both x and y are 0. That would work, but I would just double check it. Like I said, I like to double check. And let's try another point with that one. Let's try the 2 and the negative 4 with equation 4. So y is a negative 4 equals x squared. Well, x is 2 squared. Now that would give me a positive 4, but I want a negative 4. So that's not true. So equation 4 is not going to work. And so that's what you do. You keep trying to see if the other ones will work. So now I'll try 5 then with this information. So y is a negative 4 equals negative x to the second. Negative x to the second. And so now if I evaluate those, you have to bring down your negative. Now I do have a negative 4 equals negative 4, which is true. So that's how I know 5 is going to go with graph B. And so what we're going to do is continue on with that to find the other one. So now 3 is for table 1, 5 is for table B. So now we need to figure out which equations are for tables C and D. So I'm going to have you try that, and then when you resubmit this, I'll give you more points for this part.